Did you ever hesitate as a woman taking on a case with such a high-profile celebrity, especially in this post-Me Too movement?
No, because I know Johnny as a person, and I've worked with him for 4 years, five years now, nearly, and I believed him. You know, to me, this case was not a Me Too case. This was about what happened between these two people, and in a lot of ways, if you want to look at it as a Me Too case, it was an opportunity for Amber to tell her story, have an investigation happen in a court of law, and the jury came back and said, no, we don't believe you. But I never hesitated because I believed Johnny, and I was an advocate for him, and I wanted the opportunity to give him his life back. He deserves that.
It's been months since she stood in front of a jury to tell the story of a man who was being assaulted by his ex-wife. But even though she was able to convince that panel of individuals that Amber Heard had lied about her past claims and that she was seemingly the one assaulting Johnny in the marriage, it hasn't stopped her supporters from being out to get Vasquez. And even though it was already a thing while the trial was on, these people have now taken their attacks to new heights, and take it from me, nothing could prepare you for the lengths Amber's people have just taken their attacks. However, what's even more amazing is how Vasquez has been handling all of that hate. Interested in knowing more about this story? Then stick with me on this till the end. Since the verdict of the case between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard was passed, it almost seems like the whole world has been in love with the Pirates of the Caribbean star's lawyers. However, recent times have proven that what people feel for Vasquez isn't just love, but for some, it's basically hatred. This has become more apparent in recent times as several Amber supporters have been calling the lawyer out on social media because she was able to make the jury see how Amber had defamed Johnny. But with these people, the focus isn't really on how the lawyer was able to do her job. It's more about how they think she is a horrible person for being part of the whole case. And if you watch the 6-week-long trial, you're probably confused that anyone could genuinely think like that because all Vasquez did was her job, as she was employed by Depp. You see, while the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial went on for weeks and it seemed that the whole world was fixated on the case, it turned into a high-stakes battle that ultimately ended up in Depp's favor. Not only did Depp prevail and secure a massive sum of money as damages for the defamation done by Heard, but he also won in the court of public opinion. As opposed to the case with Johnny, Amber Heard lost and was also at the receiving end of criticism and ridicule in the media. She gave a 1-hour interview with NBC News where she opened up about her thoughts on the case. In the interview, she attacked Camille Vasquez, Depp's lawyer. Heard seemed to pull no punches when she was asked about comments made by Camille Vasquez in the trial. By NBC News, the Aquaman star says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly, that I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both. When asked about the lawyers in the case, she said, I will say his lawyers certainly did a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues. Even though this could be considered a myopic and inaccurate view of how things went down, it's somewhat expected that Amber would feel this way, because Vasquez didn't really give her any breathing space. Starting with her opening arguments, Vasquez said she, Amber, has been living and breathing this lie for years now, and she has been preparing to give the performance of her life in this trial. The comments that were made about Amber didn't only affect the actress herself, it also seemingly triggered a reaction from several other people on the internet who also support Amber's cause. And while that list is generally filled with nobodies, it was major headline news when it got revealed that a professor at a prestigious, globally recognized institution had decided to stand with Amber and verbally attack Johnny's lawyer. The person I'm referring to here is Michelle Dauber, who took to Twitter a while back, sharing a screenshot of Vasquez and accusing the superstar attorney of sucking up to male power. Of all the women who suck up to male power, women lawyers are the absolute worst of the bunch, Dauber wrote. Desperate to prove they are real lawyers and understanding that being a woman undermines their identity as lawyers, they throw women under the bus as hard and fast as they can. You see, Vasquez was widely praised for her cross-examination of Heard and was even promoted to partner at her law firm last week following Depp's decisive victory in the case. However, Dauber, who teaches at the prestigious Stanford Law School, clearly found Vasquez's performance persuasive, tweeting out her scathing criticism a while back. The professor was promptly criticized for her harsh words about Vasquez, with one follower replying, "If your son was falsely accused of domestic violence, I bet you would love for that woman to help vindicate him." Dauber subsequently snapped back, "If my son was accused of DV, he would have a lot more to worry about than some pick-me-girl lawyer. But that isn't going to happen because I didn't raise an effing rapist wife beater." Dauber also shared several other screenshots showing female lawyers pictured with male celebrities who have been accused of abuse, including Harvey Weinstein's defense attorney, Donna Rotunno. This this was more than enough evidence that it wasn't in any way about Vasquez's ability to do an amazing job, but it was more about female lawyers who had been successful in defending their clients. I mean, it doesn't exactly take a genius to see that, which is why many people objected to Dauber's inflammatory tweets, with several mocking the Stanford academic, saying she seemed self-important. In fact, the case got so serious that people started to reach out to Stanford to revoke her professorship position because of her vile words against someone that simply just did her job. And it got to the point where a petition was created to that effect, and at the moment it's amassed over 3,000 signatures. Besides all of that, there have also been opinions from some experts in the field of law which confirm that Depp, along with all other Amber supporters that have been attacking the lawyer, could actually be sued for defamation. However, all of that has slowly been getting more and more relevant as the amount of people rooting for Vasquez's success has basically skyrocketed. And considering how well things have been going for her since the trial ended, there's almost no chance she's worried about her haters. Speaking of her success, she's described it as being completely overwhelming. Shot in the spotlight for her searing cross-examinations and closing arguments during the 6-week proceedings in Virginia, attorney Camille Vasquez has been promoted. Co-lead lawyer for Depp with Ben Chu, Vasquez has made partner at Brown Rudnick after less than 4 years. "We are delighted to welcome Camille to the partnership," said Brown Rudnick chair and CEO William Baldiga said in what is as much a triumph for the national firm as it is for Orange County-based litigator Vasquez. "Historically, we have reserved this announcement for the end of our fiscal year. But Camille's performance during the Johnny Depp trial proved to the world that she was ready to take this next step now. We are incredibly proud of her and look forward to what she will accomplish as our newest partner. I am delighted that Brown Rudnick has given me its full vote of confidence by having me join the partnership," the much-in-demand Vasquez herself said. "I'm proud of the uniquely talented team I've had the privilege to lead, which exemplified teamwork and collaboration, and I look forward to continuing to represent Brown Rudnick's culture of excellence," the 37-year-old 2010 Southwestern Law School graduate added. The uptick in Vasquez's status at Brown Rudnick comes as a number of high-profile firms and agencies have expressed interest in either poaching or representing the literally made-for-TV lawyer. Seen laughing with and hugging Depp throughout the trial that started on April 11th, Vasquez proved a significant steely foe for Heard and her defense team. A big hit with the self-described Ford Wives fanbase, Vasquez told the assembled loyalists and media on June 1st that today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. She went on to say outside the Fairfax County Courthouse that we are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case. Expectedly, this whole hatred for Vasquez has started a lot of conversations online, with most people being pretty angry that anyone could hate on Vasquez. One user wrote, "I'm beginning to think these people work for the government. They use buzz, they lie, try and rewrite a televised trail with their own truth, and then when confronted with the truth, they get all hyper and tell us we're wrong, especially MSM. Him sounds alike. I mean, even though they consistently try to change the narrative, the truth is what it is. And the sooner they start to see it, the less their chances of getting sued for defamation. But regardless, we'll see." That's it for this video. Goodbye.